What's going on? This be your boy DJ Anonymous with Sports Biz Music, episode 14. And I got a special guest in the building, Sasha J.
Hey.
She's an up-and-coming artist. And also, she's the co-host of Class, a TV show on YouTube that's up-and-coming as well. And she's on her grind. So introduce yourself to the people.
Hey guys, I'm Sasha J. I am a music artist. From Hollywood, Florida originally. My family's Jamaican, so shout out to 876, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, like I always ask people, like the first question is like, what made you start, your music? Like, what was your influence? Like, who influenced you?
It's crazy because it's not even about who influenced me, it's about what influenced me, for me at least. When I was younger, I was in drama club in high school.
Okay.
And I auditioned as a singer, but in drama club, like, you gotta have a really, like, dramatic voice. And I didn't have that, and I still don't really have that. I'm kind of subtle with my music. So I did a majority dancing in high school. But as I got older, I realized what it costs to produce music. So
it costs a lot.
It costs a lot.
Yeah.
So as I got older and I got a better job and I got the funds, that's what made me say, all right, I want to like do this full time.
So what, like when you was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, did you have that drive? Did it start from there, or did it start just from high school?
It just started from high school.
From high school?
Because growing up in a Caribbean household, singing doesn't make you money.
Yes.
Being a doctor, being a lawyer, being in school makes you money. So that was not something I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate because, like I told you before the podcast, I'm Bahamian descent, so my mom will always make sure that I'm in the books. But as I got older, she started noticing that I wanted to be in sports and I wanted to be in music. So she supported me, but she was like, still getting the books.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my fight every day. But my mom's a lot more supportive now that I'm older, so that's appreciated.
So, I know you have an EP out, but I don't want to touch that. Like in about 5 minutes, we're gonna touch that.
Okay, cool.
But what was your first song that you like recorded? Like, did you ever start off with covers or anything like that?
Yes, actually on my SoundCloud, I don't use it much, but I do have stuff on there, and they're mostly covers. The first cover I ever did was Tinashe's Too On.
Okay, yeah, that's a long time ago.
That's long.
Yeah.
But I have a few covers on there.
I was trying to look for you on SoundCloud. Because I put Sasha J. Is it still Sasha J?
It is, but so Sasha J was taken at the time, so I had to put Sasha J 330. And 330 is my birthday, so that's why I put that.
March 30th, so your birthday coming up.
Yep.
You an Aries?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Shout out to the Aries.
So you was doing covers and things like that. So like around did you go to college? Like,
for a little bit. I went to FAMU for a year.
Oh, so you're a rattler?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Now I'm just playing. I support y'all. My fiance actually went to FAMU.
Oh, okay, awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So
deep down, I'm a rattler.
So what was you doing at the time? Like, was music still like a heavy influence?
No, mainly dancing. I was in a dance team up here called the Lovely Ladies of Tour.
Yeah.
And I was just in school, so like my extracurricular was just dancing. It was not singing, because I kind of was a little I was a little timid when it came to my singing, because like I said, I had never sang like my whole entire life. I was always told to that I wasn't ready for certain singing parts because of the dramatics. Like I said, I'm not a dramatic singer, so I never really got into it until I got older.
Okay. So how long you was at FAMU?
Just a year.
Just a year? What?
And then I came back home. It was a little too expensive to be on your own. And then I just came here and went to BC for a little bit, but I didn't finish school. And I don't know if I want to finish school, but...
What year did you graduate, like, from high school?
2010.
So we the same age. What school did you go to?
Hollander High School.
Okay, so as long as ain't no mail money, nothing like that, because I went to pay, so, like... our rivals in Broward was like Milmar, Cardinal Gibbons, and Chaminade.
Because I lived like right across the street from my middle school. But you know, my mom was like, "No, you're not going." She was not having it.
So before you you left college, what did you major in?
I actually majored in graphic designing.
Okay, so what graphic designer, that was like another passion that you had?
In high school, I did it a lot because Hollando is a magnet program. So my extracurricular activities after school was drama club, but my major in school was graphic design. So I went to school for it, but I was only in my prerequisites when I was at FAMU, so I didn't really get to touch down into like Photoshop and all that stuff. I just lost the passion for it, and I realized that my passion was music, and just kept going with that.
So you don't deal with, like, even when you do your projects, you don't do the graphics or nothing?
I play around with it a little bit on my computer, but I'd rather just pay somebody to get that done. I'm not that good at it.
So after you came back down and you left BC, what did you do after that?
I just worked. I just kept working, and saved as much money as possible to get myself around. Ended up buying myself my first car at like 21.
What car was that?
Corolla.
Okay.
I actually bought it from my mom because she didn't want to give it to me. She was like, "You can have it, but you gotta pay for it."
Okay. My first car was a Chevy Impala.
Yeah.
But it was a gift from high school, like when I graduated.
Okay.
So like everybody pitched in, because at first I didn't even know I was gonna get a car.
Right.
You know, the way my mom was acting that week, but I was surprised. Like I never figured that day.
You're right.
So after that, you started saving up and things like that. This is when you started working on your EP?
No, actually, my EP I dropped last year. But the music, I just been doing covers. Like I have some stuff on my YouTube page, but they're like super old. Some stuff on my SoundCloud that are super old. I just actually reconnected with one of my friends from elementary school. And then he reconnected me with a whole bunch of other friends from elementary school.
Okay.
And I found out that they all do music also and like do photography. Like they're really artsy people. And then I started recording with them. So I started recording with them at their house. And then as I got older, I got a new job, which means I was making more money. So I was able to afford like a real studio.
Okay.
And then my project I dropped last year called 3. I recorded it with a producer called Wally West, who I actually work with.
Yes.
And yeah, he helped me out ever since then.
Now tell me, because in the interview you had before, I heard that Wally West is like very known. I ain't get the chance to do my research, but what's his his resume?
He worked with Lil Wayne. He worked with Mac Miller.
Okay.
Those are the only two I can think of right now. But yeah, he's pretty known.
So how did y'all like beat?
So like I said, we work together, and me personally, like I'm really not that talkative, especially at work.
Yeah.
But he just heard through the grapevine that I do music, and he was just like, let's link up one day. Let's just have a conversation about what you want to do, where you're trying to go. And like we've been inseparable ever since. Like all of my connects have been through him. Like I thank God for him because he really like helped push me to do what I want to do.
Nah. First of all, like, I'm surprised that you're not talkative because you are Aries. I know a lot of Aries, like, that are very talkative. Like, I'm very free-spirited. You know what I'm saying?
I am free-spirited, but I don't like talking. I really don't like talking.
So, you said you're still independent. So, like, what's the... Because in my second episode of the podcast, shout out to my boy Hayes, we discussed about, like, the difference between being signed and being independent. Do you feel that is your goal to, like, do you want to be signed one day, or do you want to stay in the independent route?
It's a little difficult, right? Because you want to be able to do whatever you want to do. So that works with independent. But then you want the money and the label behind you, so that works with being signed. So I think if given the opportunity, if a label does present themselves to me, I would have to really like read the fine print of these contracts and let them know what I want to do as an artist. Because if they can't let me be me, then I don't want to be that. And if that means I'm going to have to stay independent for a little while longer, then so be it. Because I want to be able to do what I want to do. Obviously, like, people need a little guidance, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like if I don't want to make a pop song, I'm not gonna make a pop song, and you should not force me to do that just because you guys feel like it's a good look. If I want to do it, I want to do it at the end of the day. So it's a little difficult. There's pros and cons to both.
So have Wale West, like, he always give you like advices like in the music industry about that, like with the
for sure.
independence and the major label? Because I look at people like Nipsey Hussle and Currency and like a whole bunch of like, you know, rappers and stuff like that. That Tech Nine, you know, he's still independent, you know, making millions of dollars a year. I always think that, you know, back in the day when we was younger, that being signed to a label was like a big thing.
Right.
You know, but nowadays it's like with technology and with social media, it's like being signed is pretty much more of a partnership because you could do so much. Like being independent now is much more easier than it was back in the day.
Right.
You know, when you had to, for me as a DJ, I had to like, you know, throw out some CDs or like had to put my music on people's iPods and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So like now it's like I don't have to do that. Like I could just send links, DM people with my links and stuff, email blasts and things like that. So let's get to your EP right quick before we lose, you know, track. Because I want to talk about this because it was very interesting. Why the number 3?
Well, for one, it's my favorite number. For two, for me, the number 3 is bringing everything together. And like I said, I was at different points in my life where like nothing was getting right. Like my personal life, my work life, my career, like nothing was right for me at the time. And at that point in time, I felt like everything was coming together, and I just wanted to express myself. So
yeah, because like the EP, like they got 3 tracks.
And honestly, just worked out that way. It was funny because it wasn't supposed to be 3 songs, but I was just like, I'm just gonna end it like this.
I mean, it makes sense. Like it's great marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 3 EP3 with 3 tracks and things like that. Did you want to start off with the EP first, or did you want it to do like a let's say like an album first, or just throw out singles first?
I never thought about any of that. Like I was just recording, and then it just turned into a whole project. Like when I was working with Wally, he was like, "All right, now you got to narrow it down to how many songs you want." And I'm like, in my head, because I never had like somebody guiding me with this stuff before. So in my head, I'm like, okay, albums and EPs, like that stuff is like 10 to 15 songs because that's what I'm used to. And he was like, no, like you can do 5 songs, you can do 6 songs, you can do however many you want. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just end it at 3 then, because these are like my favorite tracks. Like I love doing these so much. I put my time and my effort into these 3 songs. I'm just ended there.
So like I know you like how was the process, you know, before we, you know, get into the actual EP? Because you have these up and coming artists that, you know, nowadays you could just pretty much record from your computer and things like that. But how was like the real process with the writing, with finding the beats and stuff, you know, with the whole orchestrating the whole tracks and things like that?
So Wally, like I said, like helped me out a lot. Like when we would meet up in these studio sessions, he would just play me a bunch of like old stuff that he did. He was like, look, I'm gonna give this to you. So just choose what you want, figure out what you want, we'll go from there. And I just listened to all this stuff, and these are the pieces I love the most. My writing process for me, I just sit at home and just write. Like I just write whatever comes to mind, and then I structure it afterwards. But actually, the last song, Blue, one of my sisters wrote it. Her name is Kayla. She's actually a poet, but she's nice with the pen. She wrote that whole entire song, and I'm like, she was awesome.
So she's your ghostwriter?
Yeah, she's low-key like.
So you got to make sure that she get paid when you blow
up. Of course, she know that. She know that.
So for the EP3, the first track, 21, which kind of remind me of Adele.
Oh, really?
It kind of did, you know, even with the song itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the whole backstory with that song?
It's actually about one of my exes in high school. He was like my high school sweetheart. He was my everything. I named it 21 because he played football in high school and his number was 21.
Well, you played safety?
He was corner.
Corner? Okay, you know what you see.
I know what he played. Listen, I don't know football like that. I just know his position like I had to.
Yeah. So So like, what's the details on it? Like,
because I feel like he was my only one. I feel like with him, I will never get him out of my head. Like it doesn't matter how many years we are apart. Like when we see each other, it's like the first time we ever seen each other. Like that's never gonna go away. But it has to go away at some point because we're not the same people that we were in high school. True. Always having that in the, like I have that in the back of my head. Like I'm always gonna have those memories with him. So that's what it was for me.
I mean, because last night I was actually listening to Cameron interview with the Breakfast Club. He was talking about him and Juju, and pretty much he was feeling the same way. Like he said, it wasn't fun no more because he felt like he lost his best friend in the whole process and stuff like that. And I feel like in a relationship, that's one of the most important things. You know, like I was telling my fiance, like I want to make sure, like 10, 20, 30 years from now, that we continue to have fun and stuff like that. Because I feel that's I always say communication, like just being yourself, having fun, and like support. Of course, love, but I feel like those three is like the main thing in the relationship, so it could grow and last for a long time. So you know what I'm saying? Like I feel that. Yeah. So y'all still talk to this day? No. Why?
He's in a relationship and I'm in a relationship, so it's just...
I respect that.
Yeah,
I respect that.
Just might as well just...
Yeah, I like that. So track number 2, like I told you before the podcast, Me, the interlude. Tell me, like, I love interludes. Tell me, like, the process first, and then tell me the backstory about that track.
This actually wasn't even supposed to be an interlude. Because when I wrote it and I was practicing it and singing it for Wally when I was in the studio, I was like, I don't know what else to write. Like, I feel like it should be longer. And he was like, it doesn't have to be longer. You can make it an interlude. And I'm like, okay. But still, like, no, I feel like it still should be longer. He was like, just relax. Like, just let it flow. If you really can't think of anything else, maybe it's meant to be that way. And then that's how we ended up just making it an interlude.
It was, like I said, it was phenomenal. It was, like...
Definitely my favorite.
I'm looking forward to your future projects just because of that interlude. Straight up. So what was the backstory about this track?
That one is about a recent ex.
Okay.
And we both cared about each other so much, but we also cared about our projects that we were doing, because he's also trying to do his own thing when I was doing my own thing. But I felt like we lost focus of each other also, and we did not know how to do both. We didn't know how to be in a relationship and work at the same time. So even though, like I said, for him to focus on me, I felt like I should have focused on him also. So it was that, yeah.
So what? So he was doing music too?
No, he's actually in a clothing company.
Oh, that was the one you were talking about in your last interview about the ex?
Yeah.
I feel you on that too, because I'm the same way. And I don't know, like, in a relationship, you have trust. Like, you have to trust your person. I just feel like sometimes you get, like, tested.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, both ways, though, because, on one hand, you trusted him, but you didn't trust the girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And on the other hand, he's a businessman. He's like, man, I'm just trying to just drop this off. You know what I'm saying? But he like, you got to trust me, though. You know what I'm saying? And I guess, that's when, I guess that's kind of miscommunication. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
It can be that. And I think because in our heads, we were just like, okay, we're with each other, that should be enough, but it's not enough at the end of the day. Like, that relationship really taught me that communication is key. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, it could be us going to the grocery store. Like, we need to communicate about what we're buying, what we're going to spend. Like, we need to have that type of communication at all times. And we didn't think that we needed that at the time, but now we realize that we do.
All right, so before I go on track 3, what was their sons?
He's a Libra.
He's a Libra, the one with the clothing.
Yes.
What about the one in high school?
He's a Virgo.
Virgo, and then you say you're in a relationship now.
Yes.
And what's his son?
A Leo.
A Leo?
Yeah, I'm all over the place, right?
Nah, cause I'm trying to think. What's an Aries like? Probably, I think maybe it's a Leo. I don't know. I never really, cause I know about my son.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I never really got into like an Aries. You know what? I think of Aries and Leo, cause I knew friends that was like they was together and they was Aries and Leo and stuff like that, and like they was all.
Fine so far.
How long y'all been dating?
Like 6-7 months now.
That's good. That's still fresh. You know what I'm saying? Just keep. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he? You know, does he have his own stuff going on?
Yeah, he's actually a poet, and he actually has a book out now on iBooks and the Nook app and stuff like that.
What's the name of the? Yeah, you gotta write that down for me after the podcast, so I can support him. I gotta have him on the podcast one day.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So, track number 3 is Blue. You actually rap.
Yeah, that was something new because I'm not a rapper. I'm really not. I didn't expect to rap, but it just happened that way.
What was the process and the motivation of like doing that specific track?
I was like, when I heard the beat, I was thinking of "Nothing Is Promised" by Rihanna. Like I was thinking of that kind of vibe. And like I know that she rapped on it, but I was like, I don't know if I should rap on it. But I sent the beat to Kayla, and she was like, all right, I got it. And she brought it to me, and I was just like, but I don't feel like I can flow. Like I would have to rap, and she was like, okay, so rap. So she definitely took me out of my comfort zone, and it worked because a lot of people liked the song, and I was really shocked because I didn't think a lot of people would like it. But yeah.
Nah, I like it. It's like I feel like the whole like EP, it got like a Adele, a SZA. I could hear a little bit of Rihanna. Like it's like that's what I hear. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good like EP. You know, I want to hear more.
Yes, you will. Soon comes.
When's the next project coming up?
So I'm really taking my time with this next project. I've actually been doing vocal training. I've actually just been dealing with my writing process more because this project is going to be more intimate, it's going to be more relatable. So I've just been taking my time. It is going to come out this year. I want it out this year. I just don't know when yet.
You should like do you I'm pretty sure you have like you have a little cult following, right?
Yeah.
You should just surprise them.
I should.
Because I like in my past episodes I always said like having a cult following is like if you have a cult following, you won. You don't need to be, you know, we all want to be famous and stuff. We all want to be, you know, out there. But like if you have that cult following, like the J. Cole's, the Kendricks, the Beyonces, the Rihannas.
Be ready at any time. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's a win-win situation. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna talk about your show, Clash. Now you before the podcast you said that y'all want to talk more than about like reggae and things like that. Y'all want to be more open to the audience. But as a are you full Jamaican?
Jamaican Indian, yeah. I wasn't born there. I was born here.
But like
States.
both your parents are Jamaican, so
yes.
I can't even say Jamaican in the sense like you full, you still full blood. You know what I'm saying? Has reggae in the household like has it like was that one of the influences for you to to go into music? Cause
for sure.
Cause for me growing up listening to my mom, like she used to listen to the gospel, the oldies and stuff, like my mom, my grandma and them. And then my brother, he had like the hip hop and things like that. Like, and then of course I tell people all the time, they think I be joking, but like wrestling, that's how I got into rock.
Oh, okay.
So as a DJ, growing up, I was influenced to be a DJ because I'm like, I want to play all this type of music and stuff. Has that played an influence in your music?
Oh, for sure. Mainly from like my cousins, because my mom doesn't listen to music like that. And my father, I haven't spoken to that much. Like, we're just getting back in a good relationship. Because he was in and out of my life when I was younger. But my cousins and my aunts and stuff, like, they're big music heads. So, like, every time there's a family function, like, they make sure it's popping with the reggae and dancehall and all that stuff. So, I plan on doing some type of reggae track on my new project.
So what's it like? All right, so because I ain't trying to be ignorant, like.
Okay.
First, like, all right, my niece, my oldest niece, she's Jamaican descent. I remember when she was younger and like, cause they stayed out of state now, but when they was all here, like her mom and them, her grandma and them, they Rastafarians, so they play a lot of reggae and stuff like that. Me, honestly, the only people I like really listened to was like Benny Man, but he was dancehall. And then like Sean Paul and stuff like that. Vibes Cartel a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just because, being from South Florida, you have no choice to listen to different type of music. But I always wanted to ask someone like, that was from Jamaica specifically. What's the difference between reggae, dancehall, and like soca and like even like, reggaeton and all that stuff? Okay. Like, what's the difference?
So reggaeton is definitely more on the Spanish music side. Like, they have the vibes and the rhythm from like reggae and dancehall, but the words are Spanish. Like it's all in Spanish.
So y'all consider Daddy Yankee is like the god.
Yeah, he's like he's strictly reggae. From what I know, I don't really listen to Daddy Yankee like that. But dancehall is more of like literally dancing. Like you dance to any type of rhythm that comes on. And they talk more, and then the message in dancehall is a little bit different than the message in reggae. Like with reggae, it's a little bit slower. They more talk about like politics, or like everyday life, or things like that. Whereas dancehall is literally like sex music. Like they jumping on stereos and jumping on women and daggering and all this stuff. Like, so that's really the same thing with soca too. Soca's kind of like dancehall, but it's more from like the Trinidad vibes. So yeah, that's the main differences. Yeah, cause like
me being Bahamian descent, like especially I noticed that like growing up, like Trinidad and like the Bahamas have like some type of like I guess like a what I'm trying to say, like a close relationship. Close relationship. Like we listen to the same stuff, eat the same stuff. But like I noticed that like reggae is more like conscious. Like and then dancehall is more like the quote unquote party hard, savage, like talking about, sex and stuff like that. What do you consider yourself like as far as like you say you wanna test reggae, like you wanna do some tracks like that's influenced heavily by reggae, but would you ever do something dealing with like dancehall in the future?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I like dancing, I like moving, so I like music that I can dance to. I would want somebody to play my stuff in the club and the parties, so like I would definitely do a dancehall record.
So who's like your favorite like artist, from reggae and dancehall?
I like Popcorn. Popcorn is one of my favorites.
You gotta write all these people down so I can listen to them seriously.
I got you.
Seriously, who else?
I listen to Alkaline. I listen to Vibes, obviously, like everybody listens to Vibes.
Everybody know about him,
But on the reggae side, I like Chronic. Bob Marley, obviously. Yeah, I still listen to Sean Paul, but Sean Paul hasn't been doing much stuff. He's getting more mainstream, so he's been doing stuff like in the pop world, which is also really good because it's very... We didn't even think dancehall was going to make it this far.
Why is that?
Well, because we have our own little thing in Jamaica. So, like, Sean Paul and Beanie Man were one of the few people that brought it.
Made a commercial,
Right. So, like, not everybody's on that bandwagon. Like, even, like, people like to get mad at Drake, but, like, he's just following the trend just like everybody else was, too. So,
Speaking of Drake, I'm glad you brought it up. Speaking of Drake, the Controller beat. The song that came up. I always felt like, recently, Drake came down here to South Florida and stuff like that. One thing I love about Drake is that he showed love man, he showed homage.
Right,
you know, even though he's from Canada, his dad from the South, so like he always showed love to like Houston and Atlanta, and now he's showing a lot of love to Miami and stuff. Cause this is when he first, you know, signed with Young Money and stuff like that. That's when he recorded like all his hits and stuff like that. And you start noticing that he's now lately, like the last couple of years or so. Honestly, it's been since his first album, cause Find Your Love was like
reggae,
like a reggae type vibe. Has Drake how I'm trying to word this. Has Drake showing like respect to like reggae and stuff like that? Has that even like has people like started respect him more, or have they like kind of gave him a backlash because they think he's still in the sound of it?
Yeah, well, from what I know, Jamaica really was not okay with Drake with all that with his last project, because he had a lot of reggae influences on his last project. Well, the one before More Life.
Oh, you talking about Views?
Yeah,
the Views.
But me personally, like, I just think that's ignorant. Like, Drake never said he was Jamaican. Drake never said he was African. He never said he was from London. He just has influences from these people and from this music. And just like a hip-hop artist can take an old R&B song and remix it, why can't Drake do the same thing? Like, he has people like Beanie Man on his songs. He has people like Popcorn on his songs. So he is paying homage. He is giving the respect where respect is due. I don't see what the problem is. But everybody doesn't think that way. Everybody feels like Drake should actually say, thank you, Beanie Man, for being on the song. They like, nothing is ever enough for people. Like, I noticed that.
I kind of think that, and like I don't know if this not like racist or stereotype, but y'all Jamaicans, y'all don't play.
No, we don't.
I do not play. Like, I told myself when I go to Jamaica one day, I want to make sure, like, you know how like you got to get like a pass.
Yeah.
I want to get a pass. Like, hey, I got a niece that's Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love y'all food. You know what I mean? So, in the show, I ain't really watched the Grammys like that. Did Marley actually win like a?
Yes.
But
best reggae album.
Do you really think it's because of their name? Because I feel like all of them was talented. Like, I even knew some Marleys that play like they athletes. Like,
I genuinely think they're all very talented.
Yeah.
Like, they're all very talented. But it's just crazy how every time a Marley album does come out, the Marley album wins. I mean, maybe they genuinely do deserve it. I haven't listened to the last Marley album I listened to was Damian Marley Jr. Gone when that first album came out, and that album was really good to me. I haven't really listened to anything else, so I can't really say if he deserves to win or not. But there are other people out there that I think are just as talented and probably should win. But because he has that name, Alfred is going to win. But we don't know.
The Marleys like the Wayans brothers. Like, they like all over the place and stuff, but like all of them are like successful in their own way. You know, like I said, like I knew some that I watched closely. Like, they was playing football. I don't know if they in the league now. But like that family, like, I don't know what it is. But
for sure.
So like now in today's music and stuff, like with hip hop and things like that, because I'm a hip hop head. So first of all, who's your top 5 rappers of all time, and why?
Top 5?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do you want to do an overall, or we could put male top 5 or female top 5?
I'll do
overall.
I'll do overall. This is not in any specific order either. I can't.
Everybody say that.
I can't put them in a specific order because they talk about different things. They have different styles, so I can't really put them. But Jay-Z is definitely there.
Why? He in my top 5 too. That's Uncle right there. I'm trying to be like him one day.
He's super talented. He's very humble about the things that he does. And it does help that the life that he's portraying in his music, he actually lived it, and I can respect that. Another one I like is Eminem.
Okay, we on the same track. Okay,
For sure. Like, he's dumb honest. Like, you can't, just like in 8 Mile, like at the end of the movie when he...
Classic movie.
Yeah, like he turned all his negatives into a positive. Like, what the fuck are you going to say about him now? He just used it on himself. So you have nothing to say. Like, he's good at doing that stuff in his music. Drake is in there.
Okay.
Drake is dumb talented. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And it's not only him, but it's the people around him. And the team that he has, his team is unmatched.
Like 40, I feel like 40 is underrated as a producer. Like, he's still like, I don't think he get that same love as these other producers out here, because 40 beats are like crazy.
They are. I'm going to put Big Sean in here.
Whoa, hold on. I love Big Sean. Big Sean my top 10. You the first person that put him in your top 5. Explain to me why. I love Big Sean, by the way, so I ain't...
Because Big Sean, for me, progressed. Like, Big Sean, for me, was always nice with his lyricism. But I just think as he got older, maybe he got a little bit more money, he was able to do exactly what he wanted to do as far as music goes, as far as his sound and his production. But his lyricism was always there. I just think that he just wasn't pushed as much as when he was younger, when his younger stuff came out. Yeah. Until now. So
I think he come from that tree. Like, you got Redman, right? Then you got Eminem, you got Ludacris, and then you got Big Sean. Big Sean, to me, he got that Ludacris, Eminem, Redman flow.
Yeah.
Like his.
He's really animated.
Yeah. So it's just like, for me, like, to me, he's still underrated, but
he's getting.
He's top tier to me. Like, he need to be top tier because of the albums that came out. Then like his singles, like the man is like. I feel like he's another one of them artists that like has a cult following, especially from being from Detroit. Where it's been a while before he came on Detroit. Really, they didn't really have nothing.
Right.
You know, they had Eminem and D12 and, you know, a whole bunch
and
of...
now it's just, like, coming out full force.
Yeah.
So my last, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know he been, like, a little off.
But he's...
On and on. Like, he's been on and off with stuff, but he is consistent with his work ethic, which I can appreciate. Dedication 6.
I haven't listened to that yet.
You should.
I need to listen to it.
He's coming back. Just know that.
But I feel like people need to come to a point like Lil Wayne started off when he was like 12.
Right.
So like he's in that status, like he's like with the Jay-Z's and Eminem's, like he don't need to rap no more.
Right. He was doing this shit because he wants to.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you have artists like Nicki Minaj, Drake, you know, even Tiger, you know what I'm saying? I think Tiger gonna make a comeback too. I heard some of his last album. It was different. Okay. But I like it. I think he's gonna make a heavy comeback. But to have like 3 artists under you that's like that went commercial and sold like they had gold and stuff like that. They went with Drake. I think Drake and Nicki Minaj went platinum and stuff like that. So like to have that resume alone, but we already know about his resume. Like his resume is really long to me. I tell people the first Carter is my favorite album from him.
I can't choose between the second and the third Carter. I can't choose.
Why not?
Because they're both really good to me. Hustle
I think
music.
Yeah.
Fire.
Money on My Mind.
Yeah.
I think Carter 2 is like one of them albums. Well, I feel like Carter 1 and 2 is underrated. Carter 3 was great, but it was more commercialized.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who's like your? Because I noticed you have J. Cole in there. I noticed you have Biggie or Park or you know, like Busta Rhymes.
They're more conscious rappers. Not that I have an issue with that, but I can't relate.
Yeah.
I can relate more to these artists.
Yeah.
To the things that they say, the messages that they talk about. I can relate more to them.
But I feel like people are so sensitive, like when it comes to top 5. Because with me, I have Jay-Z, Eminem, Biggie, Ludacris, and I believe I have J. Cole. Let me see. what I said, Jay-Z, Eminem, Biggie, Ludacris, and J. Cole.
Okay.
Kendrick and Pac, they in my top 10. And a lot of people say like, oh, why you don't have Pac or Kendrick in your top 5? I'm
But
like,
that's everybody's personal opinion.
yeah, like
at the end, and that's what people need to realize too. They get so caught up in, oh, why you don't like what I like because it's what I like.
Yeah.
Like that's my top 5.
it's good to be different.
Right. Everybody's top 5 is not going to be the same. Everybody's top 10 is not going to be the same.
Yeah, so it to me it's just a beautiful thing because I feel like once you have different influences, especially as a rapper, as a DJ, as a producer, you have different sounds and stuff like that. Like the other day, I heard P. Diddy was saying like hip hop is becoming diluted, but I find like a lot of hip hop artists all the time, like especially if they like local talent. And you would be surprised, some of them, like, have a following where you might as well they made it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though they local. Maybe they seem local, low-key, but maybe they, like, I call them the underground kings, like Little Flip. Little Flip in my top 10, you know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know who Little Flip was, Little Flip is one of, like, the best, like, rappers, like, freestylers, like, in history. One of, you know what I'm saying, in the South. So in your last interview, you talked about Beyonce and Rihanna.
Yeah.
Explain to me, like, the whole thing about that.
So they were just asking me if I feel like, well, who's better in my opinion, Beyonce or Rihanna? I agree that they're both very great. Like, they're great artists. Nothing can take away that from them. I just feel like Beyonce was in this a little bit longer than she was, than Rihanna was. They also do 2 different kinds of music. I just feel like as far as vocal, Beyonce is a better vocalist.
I've heard that a lot. Like a lot of my fiance and my homegirl say like when they sing Rihanna and Beyonce live, Beyonce is a better live performer than Rihanna.
Because that's how I look at things. Because in the studio, like, and I realized that too when I first started recording. Like, you can edit anything.
Yeah.
You can have somebody that sounds like shit and make them sound so great. Like, you really can. It's crazy what they can do in the studio, what engineers and producers can do. Like, they can make you sound like a Beyonce when you really don't sound like Beyonce in real life. So I look at stuff like that. Like, I've gone to Beyonce concerts, I've gone to Rihanna concerts. Beyonce, for me, is just a better performer overall. Rihanna is getting there, but I don't think she's on Beyonce's level at all.
I think, just my opinion, because they in 2 different places. When it comes to albums, Beyonce got it. But singles, you gotta say Rihanna got a catalog like what track Man Down was on? What album that was? Loud to me, like it was only 11 tracks, but it was still like it was a good album. But like the hits, you know what I'm saying? Like Rihanna, I always compare her to like the Drake, like they like counterparts. Like Drake might not have that much albums, he have enough albums, but he may not have like a stronger catalog as a J. Cole, as a Kendrick, as a Big Sean.
More singles, more hits out.
You know what I'm saying? So it just I just feel like, especially nowadays, like singles are becoming more important than albums.
For sure. Nobody, they just want to hear that hit single.
Yeah.
But then you got to think about longevity also.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these artists probably won't last because they're only good 4 hits. And you want to, for me personally, I want a long-lasting career. I don't necessarily need to be as big as Beyonce, but I would like to be known somewhere at some point in time. So I would like longevity in my career.
And they missing my auntie Lauryn Hill on the...
Huh?
They missing my auntie Lauryn Hill.
Oh,
she ain't my auntie for real, but that's everybody auntie. But
I count her as an artist. I don't really look at her as just the rapper because she's singing and she raps.
I kind of all right. Okay, even though Andre 3000, he's with Outkast and stuff. He had albums with him and Big Boy. But I still kind of gotta compare Lauryn Hill to Andre. Like I have to compare them two because Andre, you kind of say he had that one solo album, you know, The Love Below.
But he had hits though.
Yeah, he had hits.
He was nice with the pen also. Like his features were really good too.
I feel like Lauryn Hill, if she had at least 2 more albums, she'll be like the GOAT without question. Like she's still the GOAT, but she had
that one album that he did.
Yeah, like people still like question. I don't question her. I said she's still the GOAT for me. Honestly, it's just that. You know, as time, you know, go by and stuff, you see like the Nicki Minaj's and stuff. I can't compare her to Lauryn Hill though. Lauryn Hill's more
I can't really compare her to Lauryn Hill either because even with the 2 albums, she's only had 2 albums. Just the first album she reloaded like 20 times.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even count that. Like Lauryn Hill gave us a solid album. To the point where we're still talking about it to this day.
Yeah.
It's no shade to Nicki, but I'm not talking about her music no more. And that's how I feel like with Beyonce and Rihanna. Like even with Beyonce and Rihanna, like they have solid albums where I still go back and listen to them every single day. I don't go back to listen to Nicki's albums every single day.
So you don't think Pink Friday is not a classic?
The original, yes.
Yeah, the original. I ain't talking about the reloaded. The original.
The original, yes. I can go back and listen to that. But she done played it out because she reloaded it like 5 different times. Like it's time for you to work on yourself. And I think a lot of artists forget that. Even like local artists, they feel like you have to put out something every 2 seconds. And I personally disagree with that. I feel like you should really take your time and work on yourself and get your stuff together and come out with better material.
And that goes to my next question, next conversation, because I was taught my artist I work with, her name Valona Denise. She's from Jersey, and in our episode we talked about like what's the importance of just having you just came out with an EP, but EP different. Like an EP, you could have that out for a few months and then come out with an album.
Right.
And nowadays, people feel like you have to come out with something and then a couple months later come out with a single and then come out with another, album and stuff like that. I feel like back in the days, the album could last you about 3 years.
And that was it.
Yeah, like look at perfect example, like J. Cole's a perfect example, like the album he had before, what was it, Forest Hill Drive, that came out 2014.
Right.
He didn't release another album till last year.
Right.
That was 3 years, and people still to me, that's one of the credentials of having a classic album, that you could just put it out and you could still perform it 2-3 years straight.
Exactly.
With nothing coming up.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like you should take your time with your music and produce like really classic work, so you don't have to put out albums every single year or every single month. Like you should just let the music speak for you instead of you speaking for the music, putting it out every 2 seconds.
So how you feel about the Migos? Because I feel like they different though. I feel like.
Well, I mean, it depends on the type of genre. Like Migos made a career off of like that mumble rap. Like, Future started it, in my opinion. But Migos, like started mumble rap. I think Future started it, but there's other artists that took over that. And I think Migos plays off of that well. Like they make club bangers, they don't make anything else. So I think it depends on the type of music that you're doing. Like if Jay-Z came out with an album every single month, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work
because 444, I like the album.
Right, I did too, but it works because of the type of space he was in at that point in his life.
Yeah,
he couldn't talk about that years ago because he wasn't in that space.
Do you really think he cheated on Beyonce?
Absolutely.
Why?
What do you mean, why? He said it.
But you gotta think about it though. Like, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they like the gods of music.
That doesn't mean he's not a cheater.
You don't think it's like acting? I can't believe that.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens in a relationship, but what's more important is what happens after the relationship, in my opinion. Like, if you're gonna cheat, understand that this is going to be the last time you're cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want me to stay with you, then we're going to have to do this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
But cheating, like, everybody cheats. I don't care what nobody says. People cheat.
I don't cheat. Not in this relationship. In the past relationship,
right.
I had my reasons though, but
right, like not saying every relationship you have to cheat, but like people has, even if it's not cheating, people have done wrong. Period.
You know, I have this thing though, like you don't have to necessarily kiss or like physical cheating. You
right.
could just have emotional cheating. That's
right.
cheating.
And that's cheating too.
You know what I'm saying?
All of that, like it all works out. Like even if you don't listen to your partner, like that's probably gonna make him or her unhappy.
Yeah.
So just them being unhappy, like it happens, but it just what people I think should focus on is what you're going to do to fix that. Mm-hmm. And if you're not going to fix it, then don't even waste my time. Just let it go instead of leading me on.
So that Lemonade album really had every female on high radar, like.
Sure. That was a great album.
It was, but every dude was like,
Gee, but it worked.
I don't know. So, as a female artist, and like you look at like artists now, like Cardi B. Cardi B, she made it pretty much. Like, as a female artist, you think like nowadays, like female artists are getting even more new respect because of like 10, even like 5 years ago, like we had like Nicki Minaj was at her plateau, but I still felt like she wasn't getting that much respect in terms of like getting compared to other artists, as a whole. So do you feel like now, like you as Sasha J could be compared to like what's his name? Bryson Tiller, because I can see you in that same group with him.
I wouldn't want to be compared to Bryson Tiller.
Why not?
Because I can actually sing.
Dang, shots fired, god damn. But you know what I mean? Like it's like when I listen to his first album,
the same kind of vibe.
Yeah, like a vibe, like you storytelling.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I can see that, but as far as like voice wise, I wouldn't compare myself to Bryson Tiller, because it's like this new thing that people call trap soul, like they're rapping and singing at the same time. I don't necessarily do that. Like I actually sing. Like there's some songs that I probably would do that type of vibe, but I would more compare myself to like a Janae Aiko or Rihanna.
Yeah. So let's say you was to create your own category, because I can't really put you in a category. What would you put yourself at? I never asked nobody, no artist this before.
I wouldn't even really put myself in a category. Only because I feel like I'm very diverse and I can do a bunch of different things. So I would like to test the different things out before I would put myself in a category.
So you not gonna make something up like reggae, R&B or something, or
I'm not.
Pop, rap?
I could probably do a reggae joint, and then it just doesn't work out for me. So then I won't do a reggae joint again.
I feel like as an artist, that's a plus though, because you gonna have people to figure out like, damn, what category is she? Like, I feel like that a lot of artists need to understand. Because for one, I hate when people say R&B is dead. R&B ain't dead. It just, I feel like R&B is multiplying.
Yeah, different types of R&B.
Yeah, and I feel like as an artist, you will want to be not just in one category. Because for one, when that day come, when you get awards, they'll be like, damn, well, I'm gonna put her, I'm about to put her in R&B, but nah, I gotta put her in rap, hip-hop, but nah, I gotta put her in like and reggae or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think it just depends
soul.
What the vibe of whatever project I'm doing at the time is. Because like Bruno Mars, for instance, he was nominated for Best R&B album, but he's not
traditional.
Traditional R&B artist. But the album that he did was more on the traditional R&B side, which is why he got nominated for that. So I think it just depends on what I'm sounding like at the time.
And I look at him like I look at artists like him. Like, I'm like, this man. I'm considering him more. I can't. It's not even just pop. It's more like a James. What was James Brown like category?
It was like
soul, like R&B soul. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't just put. He's like that type of sound. Like nowadays, will get you far. You know what I'm saying? And like for you, like I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this project and stuff like that. So one question before I close out the podcast, because I like to ask people this. Where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now?
in LA. Signed.
By who?
I don't know.
Who? All right.
Brings me the best view.
All right. This fun right here. Because I always consider sports and music like it's like it's like a great comparison. Like you know, like when I was in high school, I wanted to go to Oregon for college, or like if I was gonna make it to the pros, I wanted to be with like the Dolphins or something like that. Name some labels that you would want to get signed to if they gave you the right price, the right, you know, like pretty much if everything is just right, because it's not just about the money, it's about the relationships and stuff like that.
Epic.
Okay.
Rock Nation. Columbia.
And why those three specifically?
Those three labels, from what I see, have a lot of major artists, and I feel like being around those type of people, I can learn a lot, so I can get to where I want to be.
Now, if I create my own label, would you sign to me?
Well, I don't know what you can do. So right now, no.
But I'm like, hey, Sasha, hey, listen, I could do this, and that.
The money gotta be right.
I feel you. But so yeah, you got any shout outs and stuff? Any let people know like what's coming out, what's already out?
So you can find my EP on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon,
iTunes.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at foreversj__. That is at foreversj__. I'm working on my new project right now, so just stay tuned. It's coming.
It's coming, y'all. It's coming, man. Let me tell y'all first. Let me tell you this. One day when you get your Grammys and things like that, please don't forget me. Please let me know, like, hey, yo, Anonymous. Hey, I'm finna go to the Grammys thing. You wanna slide? I'm like, hey, me and my wife at the time, we gonna be like, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad. I appreciate you coming on the show, and you know, this is gonna be a start of something. You know, like I always tell everybody, there's always something. It's like a start of something great. You know. So yeah, man, this has been your boy DJ Anonymous with Sasha J, with episode 14 of Sports Biz Music, the podcast. And before I close it out, you could check out the podcast on iTunes, on Radio Public, on Vodoo, on Spotify, on Stitcher Radio, on iHeartRadio, everywhere. I'm just trying to make it out here, y'all. But we out.